Welcome to Unhinged Magi, Road Edition.
Yep, we're back on the Road Edition, guys.
We're on our way.
These are fun videos. We're on our way to see Rudy again, so we figured we would just get a couple videos, like in the queue, I guess, you know, while we're on the way. So we had an interesting topic that we were just talking about.
Yep.
And that is, if you have a lot of like high grade PSA or BGS graded cards.
Hey, I have high grade BGS cards.
Yeah, it can be very difficult to actually figure out what's the proper price to buy or sell those cards, because the population is so low and the number of transactions on something like that is so low, you don't really have a lot to compare with.
I have a Time Twister BGS grade 10 Magic card. It is a Pop 2. It's only been sold once in open market, and that's when I bought it, and it was $8,888, something like that, right? So, what that means, it hasn't been sold again ever, because it's still a Pop 2. What is its current price point, considering a 9.5 quad sells for over 20 grand?
Now, how long ago did you buy it?
Let's see, what year did I buy it? I don't remember the actual year that I bought it.
And that right there is one of the bigger problems that I see, because as you guys know, the prices of cards has been moving massively, right? So, I mean, just think about Time Twister as a perfect example. Like, as of like 2 years ago, Time Twisters was still like the lowest cost Power 9 card, because it's, for many years, it's been considered the worst version, because it's like putting a loaded gun into the opponent's hand in like a vintage or a format where it's actually allowed. But Time Twister is one of the only Power 9, it is the only Power 9 card that's allowed in some formats like Commander or EDH. And so that suddenly brought up its value quite a bit. So now Time Twister, in many cases, is the second most expensive Power 9 card. Even more than like Moxes and Ancestral and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's surpassed it, which is surprising, right?
Yeah, so if you bought that card 2 years ago...
Well, no, it was way more than 2 years ago.
Okay, way more than 2 years ago. Well, with the price moves that have happened on the Time Twister just by itself, like an ungraded Time Twister has gone up so much in value, I can't imagine that a BGS 10 Time Twister in
Pop
beta
2
did not also... Pop 2. So 2 population, meaning there's 2 in the world at that grade. I can't imagine that those also didn't go up massively, right?
So how much do you guys think a Pop 2 Time Twister is concerned? And how do you price your Time Twister, not Time Twister, but how do you actually establish a price point for something that's never even been sold on open market? I mean, okay, let's go with the Black Lotus Beta grade 10. We don't really know how much that goes for. We know what a PSA 10 case-signed Alpha Lotus goes for, because we actually saw that being sold at auction. So clearly the price point is over $500,000. We can start that as an evaluation point.
And
right?
PSA, generally speaking, is a little bit lower price than BGS. So that's a plus side for yours compared to that one. Well, but that one was an alpha compared to yours as a beta, correct, which is a plus on the other direction for that one.
Exactly.
But the case was signed on that one,
which is also a plus.
Which is a plus. There's definitely no drawback to a case being signed, because it's not like a card being damaged. I mean, exactly, you could always just use acetone and erase the signature if it was damaging the value.
Yeah, exactly. And I probably would never do that, but I didn't buy that one, so I don't have that problem. However, so
there's kind of like a plus and a minus there. So maybe your BGS 10 Black Lotus is 500,000, like that one is. That alpha was 500,000. I don't know.
Could be. I don't know. It's hard to price. There's only 4 in existence.
So maybe it's straight up just a case of like, if you're the owner and you have the card, whatever the price is what you ask.
Yeah. And
eventually somebody will say yes, and then there you go. There's a market price.
Yep. Loose alpha starters, they sell for around what, 65 to 75 now. That's gone up. And I have a alpha starter brick, right?
No, that thing's crazy. That might be the only one in the world, right?
Exactly. So now we're talking a Pop 1 of nothing. There's no others to be ever made. There's no others to be ever graded. There's no others to be ever had.
And who knows how many, PSA or BGS 10s could pop out of that alpha brick.
Exactly.
There could be a lot, actually.
There could be a lot. But So now I used to have a price point in my head for about $1 million for that box, for that Alpha Starter brick. But I'm starting to think that maybe I should just go ahead and up my price to $5 million. Because remember, there's only one that I know of. And if there's only one, then it's whatever I say is the price. Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, I think that's true, but I think there is some data to back that up. I mean, like we were just saying, like if it's 10 starters in it, right? 10 starters. So 10 alpha sealed starters. So and any card in those starters could happen to grade as a BGS 10. And if it ends up being like a very high-end card that's like a pop 1 or 2 or something like that, that card by itself could be a $100,000 card or more. Or if it was another Lotus in there and that graded like a BGS 10 and it's an alpha Lotus, then that could be a $500,000 card right there just by itself. And that's not including everything else. So I don't know, $5 million. I don't. Maybe that's a valid price.
Well, we know the bottom line price would be about $600,000, right? That would be the bottom line price because we know what a loose starter sells for. But then it goes weird from there, right? Because it is the only one that no one has ever told me they have an alpha starter brick.
10 hours later.
Okay, so we just had a little bit of an interruption there. This funny thing happened. We were doing the video, and then while we're sitting there talking about like all these alpha boxes and stuff, Rudy called.
He did indeed.
Yep, and then we were chatting with him like all the way basically like until his house. We were basically at his place.
Yep.
So that didn't give us a chance to finish the video.
And now it is nighttime.
Yeah, and it was just craziness all day. We were hanging out there, so now we're on our way home.
So as we said, we're going to make a couple of videos. Be live.
Yep. Yeah, it was not a couple videos. It's apparently one video.
Yeah.
And this is it.
This is it. This is all you get, suckers.
Yeah. So, yeah, we were just talking about the alpha box, the alpha starter box, and how hard it is to price that because it's like a pop 1 of 1, but how it might actually be worth some crazy amount.
So now it's worth $10 million. After we went to Rudy's, we decided to reevaluate and set it to $10 million because it's a pop 1. It's a pop 1 and it's awesome. And anybody would want it. And anybody would want to display it. And if we can find one rich person who has no care in the world about money, Mr. Elon, what's his last name?
Elon Musk?
Yeah. I'm just saying, you can contact me. We can hang out. I'll buy you a lunch, and then you can give me $10 million.
Yeah, so there you go, Elon. Don't be buying like 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Buy some original alpha starter boxes.
There's only one to get, and you can buy mine. 10 million. But I can set any price point. It's a 1 of 1 right now that I know of. Right? If you have an alpha starter brick, you just go ahead and contact us at Unhinged Magi. Put it down, link down below. On here.
Yeah, well, I seriously don't think that there are any more, with the one exception. Like, you know, we were talking to Rudy about how there's actually a vault that Wizards has that apparently has all these really old cards in it. And I guess there's a chance they could still have some alpha product or some beta product like inside of that vault. But short of that, it's probably it. It's just that one.
So, it's now officially $10 million. You should have bought it when I said it was 5.
Yeah. It's crazy how prices on things go up, right?
Everything's going up.
But yeah, when we were talking about it earlier, you know, as you guys saw in the video, we were working it out and we're like, you know, it might actually be worth that. If you think about the price of where like graded BGS 10 things are going and how many could pop out of one box.
Yep.
I guess it is possible.
It is potentially possible.
Gosh, imagine if one of them was actually a God pack.
Like, no, I think only God packs occurred in beta starters.
Only betas?
Yeah, I think so.
How many rares were in that God pack that you got?
Well, let's see. You got the 2 rares plus every single uncommon was a rare. So I think you get 13 uncommon, right? So that's 14 rares.
And you got like 2 dual lands that time, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. Got totally hosed, no power.
That is so crazy.
Man, that sucks. No, I'm just kidding. That was awesome. That was the best beta starter open by far. Even beyond the alpha and lotuses and all that kind of stuff, because it was so enjoyable.
Yeah. But yeah, we're getting to these kinds of times in Magic where, like, when you're talking about the stuff that's out there and that actually exists for purchase, you know, there might be like, there's cards out there like the BGS 10, there's population 2 or 3 or something like that. Like, that's all that there actually is. So there are no more at like that kind of like level of grade. So there's actually, it seems like there's more and more things that are landing in that kind of realm where they're like the only one of like a couple of them in the world. So
Yeah, exactly.
and everything is going up in price. It's just such weird times overall, I think.
Yep. So now the Alpha Starter brick is officially $10 million.
Yep. So there you go, Elon. So this is probably a good point to close this video off.
And if
so,
you don't buy it now, it will go up.
It probably
Just
will
saying.
actually. It'll be worth $100 million at some point, but $100 million will barely buy you a cup of coffee because of inflation. So
That's true.
crazy times. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys, and be watching for the video we're gonna post later on of us actually playing Magic with Rudy at his place.
Oh yes, that was fun.
Yep. Okay. Bye.
Bye guys.